All right, what's up, guys? So we are back with a Grand Blue video. Now, I don't want to make this video. I try to keep things positive. You know, on this channel, I try to keep things positive. There's a lot of like low-hanging fruit. I think on YouTube, it's easy to just complain about shit. Like, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. You know, you could do that. You could build a following off that. I try not to do it, but this Grand Blue article came out today that actually it got on my nerves when I was like, why would you say that? Why would you do that? So let's talk about it. But there was just an interview translated by the lovely people over at GrandBlue_EN. So they do a lot of translation work for Grand Blue, not just the fighting game, but all of it right there. It's up on their site. I'll try and get the link down there. But so they're talking to the producer about his thoughts on Grand Blue Versus through the year, right? So it's been a year since the release of Grand Blue Versus. Knowing what you know now, is there anything that you would change if you could? So before we even get started into this, you have to, mention how Grand Blue literally had the worst timing of any fighting game ever to be released at, right? It released the week, literally like the week the corona lockdowns around the world started, right? It was that week. We were able to run one tournament. We ran one tournament at Red Bull, and then it was like, okay, we had like 100 people. It was like super hype. Then week 2 was like, nope, sorry, everything's canceled. So now they just released a brand new fighting game. And, fighting games, of course, online is important, but offline tournaments, locals, weeklies, all that stuff is what carries us, right? So the timing is really bad. You got to give it to them. So what did he say about this? Ready? It says, we had no idea that the coronavirus would have this much of an impact. Yeah, but I'd like to have smaller online tournaments than Rage. We're currently investigating how to handle things from here on. Yeah, so their original marketing plan was Rage. If you don't know Rage, that's their big esports thing in Japan. It was like the first one was like $50,000 or something. They're pretty big tournaments. There's a third one that's happening too. That was their big marketing budget. And originally it was global. So that was going to be really hype. It was a global event. You were allowed to fly in from overseas. They're going to have qualifiers and fly players out, invitational. So it was supposed to be like a fun international event with a lot of money on the line. That was their main focus. But, they expected the community to handle the local events, but unfortunately, because of Corona, they couldn't. But I got to give a shout out, though, to the #1 tier list creating team out there, Panda Global. So they kind of put even though it was originally a community, the Japanese community put it on, Panda Global was, they were the ones that bring you the English content, They got the rights, they got everything, they helped support everybody to get involved in there. So they did a ton for the game early on, but, after months and months, as the hype starts dying down, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. But that's not the meat and potatoes of this interview. This next one is the big one. Now, whatever I'm going to say, do not show Sage M this interview, okay? Do not share this video with him. Do not mention it. Do not mention his article to him. He's going to have a breakdown. We're going to have a week-long just rant. So we mentioned about how, Corona shut down the game, offline tournament scenes. They got to focus on online events. So here, ready? So the featured rollback netcode has taken a spotlight recently. So every dev knows this now, right? If you are fighting in dev, you can't ignore it anymore. It's too big. So it's too big. So right, due to the pandemic causing main tournaments to be online only, Arcs Works has also mentioned recently that they were looking at adding rollback to their older titles, right? They mentioned that. We talked about it in a different video. Thanks to the positive reception, Guilty Gear Strive. So is the possibility of rollback being added to Grand Blue Versus changed from when we asked you last year? Did they ask last year? But yeah, if you don't know Grand Blue, you don't play the game, Grand Blue net play is not great. It's not good. It's like the classic Arcs is delay based. The problem is that game is very slow. So it's a very slow reaction heavy game. It's like you have to be able to anti-air, right? You have to be able to anti-air on reaction, or you have to be able to do this on reaction. So, any delay really hurts this game. The answer to would there be rollback? I would have preferred if he just said no. If he just said no, it would have been, okay, that's okay. He says, yeah, we want to add it, but there are circumstances that prevent us from easily changing something that was originally designed for a delay-based system. There are some recent examples of older titles that have a rollback netcode implemented in, but every game is different, so we cannot say that the cost to do so would be the same for us as it has been for them. They acknowledge that, yeah, rollback's important. Rollback's pretty good. Yeah, some games recently got it, but, I don't know. With the current trend being rollback netcode and with Strive getting good reviews, we feel like it's practically become a must-have. What? He's like, oh yeah, you need rollback. You got to have rollback. Although we may feel that way, we cannot comment on whether or not it will be implemented for Grand Blue Versus. So it's not just they know that it exists. They know that it's a must-have, that it's necessary. And they're like, yeah, but maybe, nah. Basically, he said, no, it's not worth it. Screw you guys. We got our whale money, I guess. Like, we don't need to really, like, push this game anymore. Because, you know, if you put in rollback, the game is not going to do well. You know, as a business standpoint, it's not going to sell copies, I guess, to justify it. It's more just kind of like screw you. You guys that bought the game, it's kind of like, screw you. Like, we know what you want, we know what you need, but hold that. We got your money. Hold that. You know, I would prefer if he just said no. If he just said no, or if he just was like, rollback, what's that? If he was there, what's rollback? Can you tell me what's going on? What was that? I never heard that one before. Chappelle show, he knocks the pitcher off the table and runs out the room. But yeah. So there you go. It looks like rollback is not coming to Grand Blue. Now, you know, I don't want to just shit on this game because I liked it. You know, I had a lot of fun playing it, but like I said, just without good netcode, without offline, it's just popularity is plummeting, and you know, player base is down. There's still weeklies happening, so don't let me deter you. Like always, I'm just sharing my views. There's still people that play it. There's still, if you like the game, if you think it looks fun, and if you're rich, pick it up. You know, there's still active community. Spooky runs weeklies. They have a lot of like high-level players out there. Japan, there's not that many events happening compared to the old days, but there's still people playing it and everything. But the other thing I mentioned too is, normally I'll say pick up a game. You know, it's like if that game looks good, if you want to try it, pick it up. Wait till it's on sale. But Grand Blue, look at this. Ready? I just checked right now. It's like $100. That's just for the game and the characters. The stages are DLC. So there's stages that are DLC. You have to pay money for them. There are colors that are DLC. You have to pay money for them too. There's the new battle pass that came out that gets you like special stuff. You got to pay money for that. The $100 only for one season, so then you have to pay another 20 or 30 for the second season. It's not in a good place. So the game is not in a good place right now, and it seems like the devs don't care. It seems like they're aware of it. They just don't care right now. It's like, you know what? We're focusing on a mobile game, and we're also focusing on action adventure game. And it's like, yeah, whatever, man. It sucks. That's it. There's no point to this video. You know, I'm just sharing the bad news with you. It's pretty rough. And I also just want to mention, I think things really started to go downhill, though, which is my opinion. I might be wrong. I think the game really started to go downhill. It was it. This could have been the hero. If they put Siete in the game, I think we might have had rollback by now. I don't think Siete would have been in the game and allowed them to keep going this way. We would have had a $20 complete edition and rollback, the best rollback you've ever seen. But they gatekept them. And I'm sorry, you got to deal with what you got there. But yeah, that's it. It's tragic because, you know, the game is beautiful. It's got some good music aside from the lobby screen. It's simple. It's fun. It's like Sam's Show that I mentioned. It's a really fun game to play as your main game, but also as your side game. You know, when offline events do come back, I guess it's hard to explain, but when you play offline, you might enter one tournament, but you play a lot. Most people enter multiple tournaments, I want to say, but you learn a lot of different fighting games because when you go to offline events, there's setups for everything. So it's good to be able to just move around, hop around, and play other games. So Grand Blue is definitely a game that you can learn and just kind of stick with. You know, you don't have to like constantly grind and learn new stuff. You're like, I know my basic game plan. Oh, there's a setup over there. Let me just sit down and play. Samshow's like that too. But without offline, I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Just sharing the bad news. I don't know. I want to try and end this video with like a positive message, but I don't have one. Maybe he'll take it back. Maybe the dev will take it back and be like, rollback's coming. You're getting a complete edition. Price has gone down. It's like Street Fighter did it. You know, Street Fighter Championship Edition, they released all the DLC. It was cheap. If they put in rollback, that could be the dream, but I don't expect it. But yeah, there you go. I'm rambling. Just want to share that bad news with all you guys. If you're still watching, thank you. Try to keep it somewhat positive. I know a lot of people just rubbing they can't wait. They're gonna type up this game sucks. I hate this game. I know a lot of people are quite angry at Grand Blue, so try and keep it somewhat civil in the comments, and let's look at the good things. Even if this game is kind of going down, at least we got Strive, Melty Blood, DFO, other good games coming out, and maybe even Project L. But like always, you're still watching, I'm rambling. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.